All right, what is going on, ladies and gentlemen? How is it going? I am Is There No One Else? And the video I'm bringing today, this was requested on my channel. Somebody asked for a full fight. They didn't want the edited clips. They wanted to see an entire fight, in its entirety. And it makes sense, sometimes you don't get to see an entire build in action. A lot of things happen, people die. That's what this video is going to be. This is going to be the entire fight that we had up here at Arius, and it's going to end when we die. I'm sorry. I ruined the ending early, but it was a fun fight regardless. And, win or lose, fun fights are all that matter in PvP, in my opinion. And this video got me thinking about, what I wanted to talk about, because it is a much longer video. And we're going to talk about teamwork. We're going to talk about movement. We're going to talk about group play versus solo play, all these sorts of things, because I think it's important. And, it's not really brought up a lot in videos. You'll see it brought up on streams quite a bit. If you go and watch some high tier MMR players, I'm thinking of if I watch like Essential Vitamins BG streams, or if you go and you watch a few other guys that are doing like just nonstop BGs, they talk a lot about movement and about how coordinating, moving around in certain areas, and movement is huge. Before we get into a talk about movement, I wanted to talk about teamwork. And I've been playing this game for a while, obviously. Like I've been playing this game almost 6 years. This is my game, and I've played with a bunch of different people, top tier duelists. I've played with group play players. I've played with inexperienced players, new players, just everybody. And when you're playing in a small group, large group, whatever, the number one thing for good group play and to be successful in whatever you're trying to do is coordinating and working together as a team. And if you don't have that, if you're not working together as a team, your group just isn't going to be as successful as other groups. I've had it happen multiple times where me and one of my buddies, or me and two of my buddies, who we would fight this 3-man group or 2-man group, and we're better than them, because we've dueled them like back in the old Imperial City days. We used to kill them all ourselves 1v1, but then they wanted a 3v3, and we didn't coordinate very well together, and they would kill us. And I've had it happen that way. I've had it happen the other way, where players that I thought were really good, they weren't coordinating well, and we killed them, even though like I didn't think our group was as good as their group, like individually, those sorts of things happen. And so teamwork is huge, because in teamwork, the sum of your parts can be larger than, your individual build. And as long as you're working together, you can be extremely successful. And it reminds me of this field training exercise I had in the military. And I think this is worth talking about. But long story short, a field training exercise for you non-military people is what it sounds like. You're preparing for experiences in the real world when you go on deployment, and you're going through simulated battles or scenarios, and it's a learning experience for the entire unit. And so I remember we were sitting in on this meeting, and our commander was going to send us to this place that I don't remember the exact mission, but I remember us all being upset about it, because we're like, this is going to fail. Like, this is not going to work. This is going to fail. Why are we doing this? And I remember us talking about it in our barracks. And at this point, our boss's boss, which is, it's a big deal in the military, he kind of pulled us to the side. And, when that happens, you listen. This is a really nice bomb, actually. But when your boss's boss pulls you in and talks to you, you listen in the military. And he basically said, hey, this isn't just a field training exercise for you. This is a field training exercise for your commander also. He's new to leading people. He's a brand new captain. He doesn't, he's never done stuff like this before. He doesn't know. He's learning just like you are. And so, and I remember him saying it, he goes, you have to listen to what he says, and you have to follow it, even if you disagree with it, because he's not going to learn unless you, follow his orders. Like, look at it this way. Like, if you're crowned and you say go somewhere and bomb this group, and half the group listens and half the group doesn't, and it fails, well, did it fail because because your command was bad, or did it fail because your group didn't, listen to you? You're not going to know. And so maybe you do it again. If your entire group listens and you follow and do all that and it fails, it's like, okay, well, that wasn't a good idea. We now know for future reference. Not all crowns are perfect. Not all crowns are created equal. But when you are a crown, you got to give out the orders. And, when you're not crown, you got to follow. And that's where it gets problematic in a video game, is some people don't want to listen. They don't want to listen, when They don't listen to Crown. I'm sure a lot of you group play players are like, yep, it's fucking frustrating. But yeah, if you don't listen to Crown and you don't follow and work together, you're going to fail. You know, it's not going to work. If you listen to Crown, you might still fail, but at least you know that you failed at that point because Crown made a mistake, not because you weren't working together. And so that stuff is huge. And I could talk about this in every single video. Every player in the game would listen to this and they'd be like, oh yeah, totally. But less than half the people will follow it, you know, because teamwork isn't an easy thing to do. And so regardless of skill, it is the most important thing for successful group play, the most important thing. And so you have to swallow your pride. You know, if there's a Crown that you don't think is as good, you follow them anyways. You know, like if you're going to play in a group and you're going to play with these people, with whoever you're playing with, follow them. If you get in a group and you don't want to follow Crown, why are you in the group? You know, like that just doesn't make any sense. You know, go play solo, go find another group where you respect that Crown to follow. You know, this should be, you know, pretty common sense, but yeah, like a lot of people just don't do that. And, you know, that's how, you know, you take out larger groups, people go off and do their own things, and they get caught out in the middle, and, you know, poor movement leads to deaths, which leads to a narrowing of the battlefield. You take out a few people, all of a sudden you can take out an entire group, and, you know, you get sexy clips and they get posted on YouTube. So those are the types of things that happen. So yeah, that's important. Number two, group comp. You know, group comp, trying to set up things to help your group out. Now, you don't necessarily have to do this. You don't always have the capability to be fully group comped. You know, like when we're playing in like this 4-man group, for instance, you know, we're all solo players. We play a lot of solo PvP. We do a bunch of small scale, and you know, in these types of environments, things happen. You know, sometimes, you know, 3 of your teammates get bombed, you know, and you're left by yourself. You can't run a fully spec'd. Sometimes you can't run a fully spec'd group play build because you're going to run across fights where, you know, part of your group dies and you're going to be relied upon to do a bunch of different things. And so we typically run builds that we can run solo, and we just run them together, and we might add a few things to it. So sometimes I'll put on talons, sometimes I'll put on standard, sometimes I'll put on molten armaments, but I more or less keep my open world build, my 1vx build, because sometimes it turns into a 1vx like such. So these things happen sometimes, and you know, I'm not saying it's good or bad or anything like that. I'm just trying to explain, like, you know, where things can be different. If you're running an organized group, you know, where you have a dedicated healer, you can make certain sacrifices because your survivability is going to go up. You know, if I was running with a dedicated healer, I would make a lot more different changes, you know, because like I said, a dedicated healer improves your survivability tenfold, and it just makes it a hell of a lot easier, which allows you to go even more damage. So at this point, I get a revive, and so I'm gonna come over here and help out. Snuff, obviously, I could have picked out some people at the front doors because there was a couple blues there, but you know, we're going to work together, and you know, I don't want to constantly be trying to revive people at the front door when, you know, we have reds there and blues fighting. So at this point, you know, that's what we're doing. We accidentally pulled some ads, so we're just gonna maneuver around and you know, get our potions, our correct potions and everything, and you know, get set up. Now we're getting hit with lancers. Yeah, we're just gonna try and take these guys out. You see, we got the lancer hitting us, so I'm just constantly moving around a little bit just to make sure that they, you know, can't focus us super easily. So yeah, we've talked about movement, or sorry, we've talked about build, comp, you know, that it just all kind of depends on your group and, you know, what you feel comfortable with. But yeah, group comp or skills and sets that help support your group are important. You see, I'm just spamming cauterizes here so Snuff can get a revive off. Those things are important, but movement is huge, you know, and that's going to lead to this video, to the rest of this video. But movement is what good and bad players, you know, really, this is what really separates them. And you see, we're fighting a large group of reds. You see that there's also going to be a large group of blues. So this is a 3-way battle, and it's going to be tough. You know, there's only 4 of us. You know, we're getting sieged. There's a lot of reds. There's a lot of red bombers. There's blue bombers. There's just a bunch of people in here, and so we have to be careful. You know, if we push in on a red group and all of a sudden, you know, we ulti dump, blue group might push in behind us, you know, and ulti dump on top of us, and then we're dead and it's over. And I think at this point, you know, it's going to be a common theme in a lot of these videos, but yellow's gated. And so we're kind of up here by ourselves at this point. If we die, we have to ride back a really long ways, and it's just not going to work out. So we get all of our revives up. And so now we're just going to talk about movement and coordinating and trying to take people out. And so you see this guy, you know, he's a healer, and he's kind of back off by himself, which is a perfect combination for us. You know, you want to try and take out, in these types of environments, you want to take out squishy people first. You want to take out people that aren't in a group, and you want to take out, you know, if you can't take out squishies, you know, or if you're done taking out squishies and people that will die through a burst, the next people would be healers, you know, especially in CP PvP. I've seen this argument before, and it made a lot of sense, you know, and it's not something I normally do, but it's the difference between CP and no CP. In no CP, healers aren't nearly as effective. And so you should absolutely, you know, your order of operations should be like squishies first, you know, and then the next people, and then, you know, healers last, because, you know, who cares about the healer? You can burst people in no CP a lot easier. In CP, people are a lot tankier, you know, and oftentimes a healer can keep people alive. You know, especially tankier individuals. You can't kill some tanky individuals until the healer goes down. And so if you can burst a squishy that's by himself, you know, or a couple, you know, that are off to the side like snipers and stuff, absolutely take them out first, take out the bombers. You know, now at this point I'm just going to make sure people aren't reviving. But once it gets to a point to where you can tell it's going to be a stalemate because the rest of the people in the group are kind of tanky, healers are next. And you want to take out the healers because, you know, once they go down, typically a lot of these groups struggle. And so you see here, we got a lot of bodies down on the side, and we're just kind of maneuvering off to the side over here. So you see we have the door and we have the inner keep. The inner keep is where blue's spawning, and the door is where red's spawning. And so we want to have an avenue of escape. So if reds come in and push us, you see we can back out over here to the east. You know, we can head over to the wall, we can head over to the tower. There's a lot of different ways we can escape. If blues push out on us, we can head north. You know, there's a few different avenues. And so basically we're just not getting pinched. You know, if we were standing like basically where I'm at the entire time, like if we were right here the entire time, that's not a good look, because we're going to get, you know, we're going to get sieged by blue, we're going to get sieged by red, and we're outnumbered, taking damage from everybody, which is, you know, not ideal. So at this point, we know we see a bunch of people over here trying to siege. You know, when you're on siege, you get caught off by yourself. And so I do that. I see these guys over here reviving. See we got a negate here, and I go to try and get this werewolf because, you know, he got caught in a negate, and werewolf howl does not heal through a negate. And I was like, okay, cool, a chance to take out a tank. But yeah, you see we got a bunch of action here, and my teammates in this fight, we work together really well. You know, I haven't played with Lynx a ton. I want to say this is like our third time playing together. I think this is the second or third time playing with Numi. But yeah, we're all coordinating, we're all working together, you know, just talking like, hey, you know, we got 4 or 5 people over here, this guy's off by himself. That's what's going on in our comms right now. Just like, hey, you know, watch out, we might want to back up. You know, we got reds pushing through the door, we got people reviving over here, just normal conversations. And Snuff's giving call outs and telling us, you know, where we have to go and, you know, things that we have to do. And, you know, anytime we're taking some damage, you know, you see I'm hitting some cauterizes, trying to keep people alive. I saw this person was squishy, you know, CP34. I wanted to see how hard my leap combination would hit. But yeah, you see at this point, we got siege out here. We got blues kind of pushing out the door. So we're just going to push out on this line here and see if we can take out some reds. And so we're just going to push out over here, trying to find some. We see we got 2 healers at the front. You know, they got Earthgore and they got Chokethorn. And so, you know, they're by themselves, you know, like, don't really have to worry about the other guys, so we're just going to focus them a little bit first. You see, I do a quick 360, and I see a few more reds coming in. So at this point, we're like, okay, we got reds coming in, we got blues. We're just going to, you know, we tried to push out. It didn't work. We're going to line of sight back. We're going to go back to our corner. Now, once again, we have our avenue of escape. We can back up into the tower if we need to. And now we have a few people fighting us. I get stuck on my front bar after the CC where I can't weapon swap. Pretty frustrating. So now I got to line of sight a little bit, and I get bodied. So yeah, it happens sometimes. Sometimes you run out of resources. You know, it's not always the prettiest clip, but I'm going to get the revive here, and we're going to continue our fight. But yeah, I mean, everybody makes mistakes. Sometimes you're a bot, you know, it happens. Sometimes the game doesn't work. But yeah, when I CC broke, I couldn't swap my weapons. That's why you saw me bashing with my Destro staff up. I was just like, come on. But yeah, so we get the revive here. So at this point, you see we have a few reds coming in, so we're just gonna keep our buffs up, pop the pile already, hit them with a fossilize, a couple whips and embers. You see we have a bomber coming in, so I'm gonna hit a couple coags, keep everybody healed up, and we're just gonna kind of assess the situation. So we got one person down, we got a bunch of people at the front door kind of fighting, and so we're like, do we have ults? Do we have ults? Should we push in on this? But yeah, we have this pillar for line of sight if we need it. We have that back tower for an escape if we need it. And it looks like, we have nobody behind us. So we're just kind of waiting on ults. We're trying to wait and see, where we're going to come in at when people are focused. So you see I'm hitting entropy on a few people. And while I'm sitting back here, I'm just switching to my back bar to proc Daedric Trickery. And so if I get the major heroism buff, you see my ulti-gens just going up crazy right now because, I proc the major heroism buff, and now I'm going to have, a 500 ult Balorg leap, which is a lot more damage than another normal one. So we're not using our ults here because people are just kind of coming in at ones and twos. We don't have to worry about it. Our 4-man group coordinating are going to take out these people because, they're not organized in the same way we are. So you see this werewolf come in by himself. Once again, this is another, movement issue. Like, he just pushes into 4 of us. I think he thought his teammates were going to come in, and they didn't. And so you see we just, we're just slowly picking people off that, are making mistakes, and we're just building our ult, waiting for people to get piled up so we can ulti dump. And so that's essentially what we're doing right now. And a lot of it is, you see us working together, and, ones and twos are easy to kill, when you got a 4-man and they're just moving into you. So at this point, they're going for revives. I tried to leap on this guy to take him out real quick. It failed. It was a really bad fail. But yeah, at this point, they're trying to revive. Now we got a bigger fight over here. I wanted to keep the bodies down, and that's why I dropped it there. Plus, I have a lot of ulti gen. I'll get my leap back pretty quickly. So at this point, we're dropping ults. We're trying to take people out. Lynx is in his Colossus, and they all just kind of backed away. I got a few people on me at this point, and so we're just going to line of sight a little bit, kind of assess the situation, see where people are at. Now we have to retreat. We got a bunch of reds on us, so we're going to go into the tower where we can narrow our numbers a little bit. And we're talking right here, like, should we ulti dump here? Should we ulti dump here? Should we ulti dump at the second floor? Do we have all of our ults, And so we're just trying to wait for them to push through here, trying to see if they're going to. But this guy's by himself, and we're going to try and take him out because, once again, like, he got kind of caught out in the open and by himself. And at this point, he's just, running back to his group, back to the heals, which is a good call. But yeah, you see we got this, and we're just kind of like looking in the areas. That guy's off to the side playing by himself, so, we're just going to let him be for now. But yeah, I'm just gonna hit entropy on a few people, get my Daedric Trickery going, make sure I have another full ult Balorg, and this guy kind of pushes in by himself once again. I go for the leap. He was at half health. I go for a couple whips. You see the heals are just coming in, like somebody's hitting him with a lot of heals. So he ends up surviving for that reason. And so at this point, I'm just trying to provide a lot of pressure here, but it's just not working. So we're just gonna back up once again. You see we got another guy over here by himself, and I'm gonna hit him with a fossilized. Couple burning breaths, embers, couple whips, and just as he's about ready to die, we got more heals coming in. So you can see in these types of fights where, especially in CP, like, healers can really be problematic. So I'm getting hit with the soul assault. Once again, this guy's just kind of off by himself. He keeps going back to his healers, but yeah, he's almost dying every single time. But yeah, we're at this point, you see there's a bunch of reds. We got blue bombers and red bombers coming in. And yeah, it's a fun fight. I leap on this guy. It somehow heals him. Sometimes leap doesn't go off. I don't get it. But yeah, I think we get this kill. No, Earthgore goes off. Earthgore goes off and a healing ult, so we got to back up. But yeah, it's not the cleanest fight in the world, but it does highlight the movement. It does highlight where we're working together and we're coordinating. You constantly see us focusing the same person, and you see people off by themselves just dying randomly. Like, if he was still in his group over here, he probably wouldn't have died, but he decided he wanted to stay on the siege, and he's like, oh, well, Chokethorn and Earthgore and the healers will save me if I'm over here. But healers are working with their group. They're not always doing that. So you see there's a few blues focusing these guys. Got a Chokethorn go off, so we're just going to back up once again. People are getting pinched a little bit, but I got an ult. We're kind of waiting for people to get grouped up once again. And at this point, oops, sorry about that. At this point, we're just trying to, find a good opening to really ulti dump a large group of people. And so you're going to see it right here. This guy gets kind of pushed off by himself. And so he tries to get away, does a really good job of healing up. At this point, I get a meteor dropped on me, and I get the best bug in the world. I go to leap, like we were pushing in to ulti dump that pile, and my character bugs out. I forgot that this happened actually. Yeah. Luckily, nobody attacked me, but my skills couldn't fire. You see all my skills are blacked out. I did leap. I can't move. It looks like I'm just crouched. I'm unable to do anything. And so luckily, all of a sudden, it switches out, and I'm able to weapon swap and everything. But yeah, if that happened when I jumped on the pile and they focused me, I was going to be dead. I don't know what that was. that was something. So yeah, that was, I completely forgot about that in this fight. But yeah, game's working great, is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, we went to ulti dump that pile, and my shit didn't work, and you know, we don't get any kills for that reason. So on top of, you know, normal outnumbered group play where you really need to coordinate and get stuff done together, sometimes, you know, stuff like this happens, and you know, it can be very frustrating. So at this point, this guy's by himself, and so we're just going to focus him a little bit. He does a really nice job of surviving, and he's just kind of dodge rolling to stay away, and yeah, he's still by himself, so we're just going to try and focus him real quick and, you know, build our ults and all these other sorts of things without using them. But yeah, I ended up using mine anyways. So at this point, we got him. We got this guy by himself, so we're just going to focus him once again. Yeah, you could see a lot in this fight. Like, we get a lot of kills here, and a lot of it is just, you know, us coordinating better than the other people we're fighting with. So those sorts of things happen. You know, we got this big scrum over here, and so we're just gonna, once again, I'm gonna cast entropy at range and, you know, make sure I get my trickery buffs going. I think I got the major heroes and proc, so you're gonna see my leaps go up, you know, or my ulti gen go up quite a bit to where I get to my leap, and we're just trying to figure out, you know, build our ult, get to a point to where we can ulti dump once again, and hopefully it works this time. So hit a few people with Ellie Drain. I see this guy in the back, a little bit squishier, and so I go for the burst. He's almost dead, and I take a really nasty CC. If I could have got that whip off, I think we kill him. But yeah, now at this point, you know, reds are pushed out by blue, and so blues are going to be the people we focus because there's more of them than there are red. And, you know, we see people kind of off doing their own thing. You see there was a few blues we went after that were away from the group, a little bit easier to focus, and you just got to narrow down who you're fighting in situations like that. Just gets inside once again. So at this point, we're going to kill some ads. We're going to focus a few people over here. And yeah, overall fun fight. Hopefully the blues and reds had as much fun as we did. This guy's once again by himself, so we're just going to focus him really quick. I leaped on an engine guardian proc instead of him. You know, rest in peace me. But yeah, we got a guy in clown form here, and so we're just going to keep our heals up. You know, does a ton of damage. And it's essentially unkillable. So at this point, you know, they all went back to their group. We see a few people kind of squishy at the front door, so we're just going to focus them. This guy keeps coming in and out, almost dying every single time. I wish I had the door mechanics to where I could do that, you know, where I could actually get to the door when I need to. Doesn't work out for me that way, but, you know, if it works out for you, awesome. But yeah, some people have like get through door buffs, and it just doesn't make much sense to me. I need to get that passive in my CP tree, I think. But yeah, so we had our chance for blues. We didn't really get any kills, and now we got reds pushing in once again. Like I said, this is a really long fight, back and forth, back and forth. You know, blues pushing out, reds pushing in, us just staying off the side, trying to, you know, wipe a group so that we can get inside, or, you know, let reds get inside and then take it from them. And yeah, we got another 8 minutes of this. So I think I just stepped away for a brief moment because, yeah, it's been pretty action-packed here. And you see we got a few reds at the front door by themselves. So this guy's a little bit tankier. So we're just going to kind of focus in on him a little bit. I see I got a meteor drop on me. I'm trying to back away from the group so, you know, they don't take the stun. See, now we have a pile of reds pushing in. And so we're just going to move once again. You know, we're going to use this pillar for line of sight. We're going to see if we can get a group to where we can ulti dump them. This guy's a tank, so we're just not going to focus him too hard unless we really get a burst window. And it, you know, it's like a mag DK. You really want to use your leap as an execute, you know? So if he was at half health and I thought I could complete the kill without, you know, or if I needed the leap, I would have leaped then, but we didn't need it, you know, he ends up dying. So at this point, you know, we got a werewolf coming in once again. You know, we got people sieging the front door. We have people coming in ones and twos off to the side here. And yeah, we're just gonna try and narrow it down. This guy kind of comes over by himself. You see we got a healer over here with Chokethorn. We're gonna hit this guy with fossilized, a couple whips. He's gonna die right here. And yeah, you see this entire fight's about movement. You know, it's just about us tactically maneuvering better than they are, working together better than some of these groups of 1s and 2s. And, you know, we're just getting a bunch of, you know, a little bit easier kills because, you know, they're not working well together. And at this point, we're just trying to pull off a group that we can ulti dump. Like that group right there is a little bit too big for us, you know, and especially with the blues and especially with the siege, you know, essentially be suicide to move in there on that. So we're just gonna keep doing that. This guy just obviously got picked up, and so we're gonna focus him once again, keep the body down. My buddy's getting hit with a toxic barrage, so I'm gonna hit with a couple cauterizes, make sure we get the cauterizes going. Now we're getting pushed in, take a really nasty negate. You know, yeah, that was rough. They did a really nice turnaround there. Really nice ulti dumps. You see we got proxy deaths coming in. You see we got smash ults coming in. So I'm just going to go into misform. We're going to kite all the way up to 2. At this point, I'm just going to turn around, hit a couple cauterizes, keep my buffs up. Want to try and, you know, help my teammates out here. And so you see we got a group of people coming up. We're going to try and ulti dump on the top of the stairs. I'm low on resources, so we're just going to wait and see if we can find our moment. Dread Hornet here is typically pretty tanky, so we're going to ignore him as much as possible. I got my pot up. You see we got people pushing downstairs. I see this guy at half health. I go to leap on him, and he just gets down the stairs before I could get the leap. Really disappointing. But yeah, they pushed in and then they pushed out away from us. There are a few people here, so we're just going to single target them down, get our ults built back up. See, he dodge rolled a few times, so now I'm going to hit him with a fossilize to CC him. Magicka classes can only dodge roll so much, and typically when I see a Magicka class dodge roll like that, you know, I'll fossilize immediately afterwards, because then they got to break free, and then they got to dodge roll or maneuver out of, you know, the fossilized has the root in it too, and it's a huge stam drain. So if you dodge roll against the mag DK or stam DK, whoever has fossilized, it can be suicide if you're a mag spec. So yeah, you got to be careful with those sorts of things. I go to leap right here as they were pushing in, and I had a meteor drop on my buddy's head, and I wasn't able to follow up. At this point, you see we're getting bombers coming in on us, and so I'm just block casting my heals. I'm going to go into misform here now that I have my health up enough. See, we got a lot of bombers coming in, so I'm just block casting my coag's got a really thick coag there. We're going to keep our buffs up. You see we got a vulnerability ult coming, so we're just kiting around rocks, we're kiting around trees, or around our walls, around everything, and trying to just stay alive at this point and narrow it down. So we managed to get downstairs here. We're all coordinating together. This guy gets by himself. They had more people than us, but you know, if they don't coordinate and follow us in that way, and we were able to get one player, then, you know, those sorts of things happen. So we managed to get a kill, and at this point we're just, you know, looking around to see where the rest of the red group went, and it looks like they all went outside. This guy gets picked up. I'm going to leap on him, go for a couple whips, see if we can get the kill here. But yeah, I take a nasty in cap right there, and so we're going. It was a joke. I take an in cap stun there, and so I'm not able to get the kill. But at this point, you know, I'm going to go pop in a move pot and revive my buddy. A move pot revives are BS. I've talked about this a few times. You know, obviously it's in the game. You do what you got to do. I don't think it should exist. I don't think you should be able to pop in a move pot and revive somebody without interrupts. I think that's shitty. I think it's really lame. Yeah, it's a channel, like, you're in a channel for a reason. You should be able to get interrupted. So pretty dumb. This guy tries to bomb in on us. I leap on him, leap whip, he's dead. And so now we're just gonna push back out once again, and we're gonna try and see if we can take out this group. So you see this guy's almost dead, but they got healers coming in. We got a couple bombers. You see the acuity going off, so we're just gonna back up a little bit. You see the bomber right there. We end up getting the revive, and at this point I'm getting hammered. Popping pots, I'm getting leapt on. Another CC. I might be dead here because I'm out of resources. You see my stam's low, so at this point it's like, okay, well, if I take another CC I'm going to die, so I'm just popping cauterizes for my teammates, and we're getting bombard spammed, and so we're just going to bombard spam out in the open is rough. I'm not going to break this because nobody's focusing me. I'm just going to preserve my stam that way. Yeah, sometimes you don't have to break CCs, and so if you're aware that, you know, people aren't focusing you, you know, don't break it. Conserve your stam for situations like this where you're going to have more. We ulti dump the front, or the stairs here. We get 1 kill, 2 kills, and then we get the NPC negate. We would have gotten 3 or 4 more kills if that negate didn't happen. I think we have 2 or 3 mag specs with us. So at this point, Burrell's getting chased, and so we're just going to come up top here and see if we can focus a few people. See if people are going to come up the stairs. At this point, we're going to kill the ads. You know, negates are a pain in the ass. They're such a pain in the ass. And I feel like sometimes NPCs use, you know, it's a negate spammable for them. So, got Got a guy come up by himself. We see we got a bomber coming, so I'm just going to leap on him right away. I didn't see the immunity on his body, so we just get the leap. We get the quick kill there. Take a lot less damage because we ended up bombing him. You see all these guys are at half health, and we're just trying to coordinate here. We got a couple werewolves coming in. I'm going to hit a coag, a couple cauterizes, make sure we keep our people healed up. I'm going to push down just a little bit, kind of keep these people away from the guys up top. We're just going to line of sight here. We're going to go down to the first floor. We're running a little low on resources, and we got a lot of people focusing us this time. You know, when I talk about movement, you want to have different avenues of escape. So like when we were at the front door, our escape avenue was this tower. If we're getting zerged at this tower, the next avenue of escape, you know, if a couple of us die, or if like we can't kill the NPCs, is we're going to head south to the tower, directly south of here. And so you want to have these different things. And so when I'm talking to my buddies and stuff, I'm like, all right, you know, if we have to fall back, we're going to fall back here. And I give different fallback points. And so at this point, you know, you see we have Numi and we have Lynx down because, you know, we're getting sieged. We got a bunch of people on top of us. And it's like, okay, well, it's time to head south. I don't know if I'm going to make it, but that's what I'm going to try and do. I dropped down. They all chased me. I activated my undo. And so now I'm going to try and get to the south thing. And I'm trying to get with Snuff. I take that leap CC that you guys know, the leap little snare is such a pain in the ass. So I'm trying to get over here, this is our retreat point just to where we can narrow it down once again. You see Snuff's taking a bunch of damage. I'm taking a ton of damage. I'm going to get leapt or meteored, and it was a really bad stun, and then I die. And so this is essentially where the fight's going to end, you know. But overall, you know, like I said, this is the full fight. People die, you know. I could have edited this to show me not dying or people in this group not dying, but I don't think that's, you know, as informational as this is, showing, you know, where we messed up, where, you know, other groups messed up, and those sorts of things. So yeah, if you guys liked this video, please let me know. I think this is the first time I've actually gone in depth on stuff like this. If you enjoyed it, please let me know, and I'll figure out if, you know, if I should do this again. So yeah, that's going to be the end of this video here. Thank you for watching, guys. Oh, wait. We got to wait for Snuff to die, too. You know, we can't just end the video with Snuff still alive and you guys think that there was hope. No, we wiped. Snuff got zerged. I got zerged. We all got zerged. But yeah, good fights regardless. Really good fun, really good teamwork. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a nice day.